Yeah, what's going on, people? It's that boy Treezy here with another Throwback Thursday. This is the second episode, chapter, entry, extravaganza, whatever you want to call it. It's the second one anyway. I hope you enjoyed the first one I did, where I had a rant and rave about Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighter, available on the Xbox Live Arcade. We're looking at Metal Slug 3 now. Just doing a little quick compare games with my main profile, just to show you, you know what I mean. I'm keeping it real, you know what I'm saying. I've completed the game, got all the achievements. It wasn't an easy task, you know what I mean. Metal Slug's a fantastic. Seriously, like, I've played every one. Back in the days when I was on the PlayStation 2, you know what I mean, they did that disc where they had like, I don't know, 7 or 8 of them on the disc. I was playing Metal Slug back in the PlayStation 1 days. Obviously I played the two that are available on Xbox. It's Metal Slug 3 and Metal Slug XX. I even almost bought the one for DS, but price was a bit steep for it, to be honest, and it wasn't the main characters, it was some like side story shit, but it'd probably still be good, to be honest. Yeah, and the games are brilliant. The first time I ever played a Metal Slug game, it must have been the first one, and it was on like an old school arcade, you know, like the proper arcade machines in, you know, arcades. When I was on holiday, one of the first holidays I went on as a kid, you know what I mean. And yeah, Metal Slug was on one of these arcade consoles, and oh my god, I was hooked. Now obviously, you know what I mean, times have changed, many years have passed since then, and obviously now you can't just chuck money about in arcade games. You can't even buy a bottle of pop from the shop without thinking twice about it, you know what I'm saying. So you know, obviously being young and shit, I didn't really mess with too many actual arcade consoles, you know what I mean. What the hell are they called? They're not called consoles, you know what I'm saying, the big arcade machines you put your money in. I don't know if anyone remember the 18-wheeler game. I think that was on Dreamcast. That they used to do that in the arcades as well, but it was the actual massive truck, and it had the massive steering wheel to go with it. That was class as well. I was hooked on that. But anyway, yeah. So Metal Slug, brilliant game. I'd go as far as saying it's easily one of the best of its genre. You know what I mean? Shoot 'em up, side scrolling. You know, pretty frantic action. Now, I wouldn't say it's bullet hell, because you know what I mean. There are games out there that are just insane for actual bullet hell. You know what I mean. But it is tough. The achievements, the main achievement, which will obviously trouble people. Well, actually, Metal Slug 3 has got a few achievements that will trouble people. You've got to complete the missions, like each mission without dying. You know what I mean. So there'll be, you know, complete mission 1 without being hit once. That's an achievement. Complete mission 2 without being hit once, and so on and so on. And then there's an achievement for completing the whole game without continuing. So you get, I think it works out at 2 chances throughout the entire game. You know what I mean? So, like I said, obviously I love my Metal Slug games, so I didn't mind, you know, practicing, getting better, failing many times, and obviously eventually unlocking all the achievements. The only frustrating thing for me, besides the fact that, you know, it was pretty hard to begin with anyway, was that I managed to unlock the achievement for completing the game without continuing, but I actually died. I think it was on the final mission. You know what I mean? So to get, that was the last achievement that I needed. So to get that achievement, I constantly had to get back up to the final mission. You know what I mean? And keep attempting it. One little mistake, literally one mistake, that was it. I had to start the entire thing again. First 4 missions ain't so bad. You know what I mean? They're pretty short, pretty sweet. But the 5th mission, the final mission, is longer than the first 4 missions put together. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's heavy stuff, and I knew what I needed to do. You know what I mean? Because I played it so many times, and obviously you memorize everything. Enemy, you know, enemy spawns, enemy attacks, techniques, all that shit. And sometimes it was just a case of when I finally got back up to, you know, the mission I was struggling on, you forget. You know what I mean? You start feeling the pressure because you're thinking, shit, this is it, this is the part. You know what I mean? And it was tough stuff, really tough stuff. Mission 3, when you start going up the platforms and the soldiers start spawning on the same level as you and above you. You have those like bazooka type guys, RPG type guys. That was a bitch. The boss in Mission 4 was a bitch, dependent on what attack he used against you, because he had this little like kind of spiral attack. His shit starts spinning in the middle of his like forehead, the big statue thing that's like floating across the screen, and sometimes those blades that came out that it fired, really hard to dodge. And then the final mission wasn't too bad until you got into the actual spaceship itself, the UFO. That's when the action just got crazy, and the whole zombie chase at the end, where your character's been cloned and like kind of zombified, cloned as well, was, oh man, it really intense, proper adrenaline pumping stuff. But fuck me, what an experience though. The game is brilliant. Again, the only harsh thing is when you die, that's it, game over. You start from the beginning. So doesn't matter if you've you know, obviously been through the game once or whatever, or you only want a specific mission achievement. You got to go through the whole thing every time. You know what I mean? But in a way, I kind of like that, because that, you know what I mean, there's no pussy ways around it. If you ain't good at the game, you ain't getting all the achievements. You got to work for it. You know what I mean? And I like that in a game, especially nowadays, man, because games now, you know what I mean, so watered down with their achievements and shit. I don't know, man. It's like the achievements are just piss. You know what I mean? You'll unlock them, fuck the game off, and then some achievements are just stupid. A good example would be Gears of War 1. You know what I mean? The seriously in that, besides the fact that it was messed up, you know what I mean, it was glitched to hell and it didn't actually unlock on 10,000. I had a lot of respect for that achievement, you know what I mean, because it was pure, you know what I mean, look, 10,000 kills, ranked matches, no bullshit, get your kills, get your achievement, you know what I mean. But then obviously you add on the fact that it was glitched and it kind of took the piss. But then they came eventually to Gears of War 3, and the whole seriously thing now, seriously 3.0, whatever they call it, is a joke. You know what I mean? There's hard, respectable achievements, and then there's just them achievements that are just fucking stupid. Unfortunately, I am that type of guy who will eventually get that achievement, but you know, with Gears being the way it is now, compared to what it used to be, it's not something I'm in a rush for, you know what I'm saying? But fuck Gears anyway, we ain't talking about Gears, we're talking about Metal Slug. Yeah, so obviously Metal Slug XX is available as well on the Xbox Live Marketplace, and it still is pretty tough, but like I said, the difference is with this, there's no level select or anything like that. What this game is missing from, let's say, its PlayStation version, it doesn't have the missions. You had a separate game mode where you could play as a specific enemy soldier. I think it was either a rifle soldier, a grenade soldier, or I think it was an RPG soldier, and it was just a good, you know what I mean, a good variation. It was, you know, interesting stuff. Because besides that, on this there's multiplayer, which is not very good, to be fair. I've only tried it online, and it wasn't horrifically laggy, but there was just a permanent delay. If you wasn't host, you had like a second delay on your shoot and your jump button. And with a game like this, you know what I'm saying, you can't have that at all. The shit's got to be crisp. You know what I mean? When you're pressing your button, shit's got to react. Not, hold on. Alright, yeah, now we'll jump. You know, oh my god. We didn't get far at all. Obviously, I can't remember who the guy was, but it wasn't a good experience. Split screen. Where I'm from, you know what I mean, I'd never get people who are good enough to keep up with me. And even if I did have a good person, you'd never make it to the end kind of like flawlessly with two people, unless you were like twins or the bestest of friends with chemistry that, you know what I mean, really meant something. Because you got to have that coordination, you'd have to have that communication with so much shit happening in some of the levels. You know what I mean, you've got to really focus on what you're doing, because that's the key thing to being successful with Metal Slug, is, you know what I'm saying, being aware of your surroundings. It's all good being crafty with your jumping and shooting and whatnot, but you know, you're rolling by yourself. You're not going to be able to take out everything at once. You're not going to be able to keep a clear screen all the time. You've got to, you know, calmly move to the left, move to the right, avoid that objective projectile. You know what I mean? Shit like that. It gets pretty tough. But anyway, classic title. If you haven't picked this up, seriously, I'd give it a go. Tough achievements though. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie. I think the achievements probably put people off buying, you know what I mean, Metal Slug XX once that came out. Quite a bit after this title came out. But it's a gorgeous game. I really love it, me. And quick announcement here, if you're still watching the video, I'm getting my rant on here to the max. I'm gonna put my neck on the line, put my reputation on the line, and say that I might just do a walkthrough for the game. Now, I have done the I've done the official walkthrough for this game on True Achievements. Obviously, the majority of it is in text format. You know what I mean? Just trying to jot down my knowledge of, you know, what helped me get through the game, and then obviously using other people's videos and, you know, writing down, using the video to point out, you know, certain points of each mission. Now obviously if you've been a subscriber of mine for a while, or you've just followed my videos for a while, you know I did the whole Metal Gear Solid thing. Which, you know, it's not a new game or anything. Those VR missions are years old if you take it back to the PlayStation days. But when you look around on YouTube, all you're seeing is speedruns, world records, you know, people titling the videos as walkthroughs, and they ain't even talking on it. That's not a walkthrough. How's that walking anyone through the level? Just showing, you know what I mean, you passing a level ain't gonna help no one. Not as much as you truly could do. So what I'm thinking is, you know what I mean, obviously I've been playing the game to put this footage together, take it back to the old days, because that's how we do on Throwback Thursdays. But you know, I enjoy the game, and I wouldn't mind trying to, you know, conquer the challenge of completing it all again without continuing. And while I'm doing that, you know what I mean, I can break down the levels and try and help people out and guide people through it. Try and take my time and that, you know what I mean, and just, you know, do the same thing I did with the Metal Gear Solid video, see how it goes. Hopefully people will like that, because I've had a lot of feedback from, well, pretty much all the walkthroughs I do for games and stuff, you know what I mean. You know, people genuinely really appreciate it. It's good to see. It makes me happy, puts a smile on my face, you know what I mean. Especially the Metal Gear Solid stuff, because, you know, as per usual, I didn't think that would be as popular as it is now, you know what I mean, all those videos and shit. And people are really grateful for that kind of stuff. I've had tons of thank yous and private messages and all that shit, even on True Achievements as well. You know what I mean? So it's really good. It's a good feeling. Nice to help people out and whatnot. But anyway, 15 minutes have gone by. I've been ranting strong. I hope you've enjoyed this edition of Throwback Thursday. I've not got anything planned yet for next Thursday. I did want to go straight onto Metal Slug XX, but that's, I don't know, that's kind of not cool. I might save that for a later date. So you know, next Thursday is going to be a bit of a surprise. Don't know what I'm going to look at. Obviously there will be something up at that time, so stay tuned guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.
Mission complete. Mission 4, start.